your daily handful of nuts may be doing the exact opposite of what you think. Instead of protecting your brain, one popular nut may actually double your risk of a stroke, especially if you're over 60. And most seniors eat it thinking it's heart healthy. But new research from Harvard and the American Stroke Association says too much of this nut at the wrong time could silently thicken your blood, raise your pressure, and clog your arteries while you sleep. So if you're snacking on this in the evening, or adding it to your breakfast, this could be the reason your memory, balance, or blood pressure is getting worse. Stroke is the one cause of long-term disability in seniors. Not heart disease. Not cancer. Not even Alzheimer's. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 people over 65 will suffer a stroke. And after 60, your brain's blood vessels become more sensitive, more fragile, more prone to clotting. Even a mild narrowing of your arteries can cut off blood to memory centers, trigger slurred speech, imbalance, confusion, or worse, leave you paralyzed overnight. Many seniors make the mistake of focusing only on cholesterol and BP meds. But what you eat, and even one harmless nut, could quietly tilt the scale. Today, you'll discover 3 stroke-protecting tips. Plus, the top 8 nuts that help or harm senior brain health, backed by real data from Harvard, Stanford, and Mayo Clinic. Let's start with this. A single Brazil nut contains 10 times the daily selenium limit for seniors. According to the NIH, adults over 60 need just 55 micrograms of selenium daily. But one Brazil nut? It can have over 500 micrograms. Now here's the problem. Excess selenium builds up in older bodies, especially when liver and kidney filtration slows with age. The result? High blood pressure spikes, clot formation, neurotoxicity symptoms like fatigue, memory fog, and dizziness. A 2024 meta-analysis in the journal Nutrients found that seniors who consumed 2+ Brazil nuts per day for 6 weeks had a 38% increase in blood selenium and a mild elevation in stroke markers like homocysteine. So while Brazil nuts can support thyroid health in small amounts, more is not better after 60. In fact, they may be silently raising stroke risk overnight. Practical tip 1: the safe nut ratio for seniors. Not all nuts are dangerous. In fact, most are protective if eaten in the right ratio. Here's what Harvard's nutrition department recommends for seniors. Almonds, 10 or 12 a day, rich in vitamin E and magnesium. Help reduce plaque buildup in arteries. Walnuts, 5 to 7 halves a day, contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that improves blood flow. Pistachios, 15 a day, lower systolic BP by 7 to 8 millimeters of mercury in 4 weeks according to a 2023 Mayo Clinic study. Hazelnuts, 6 late a day, boost HDL, good cholesterol, without raising LDL. These nuts contain heart and brain protective nutrients. But balance is key. Here's what to avoid. Brazil nuts, no more than 1 per day. Avoid entirely if you take multivitamins with selenium. Cashews, high in saturated fat. A handful can raise LDL if eaten daily. Salted peanuts, too much sodium. Raises BP, especially at night. Candied or honey-roasted nuts, sugar plus fat equals inflammation plus insulin resistance. So what's the rule? Stick to 1 ounce per day. That's 1 closed palm, not a full bowl. Mix 2 to 3 types, avoid overloading one type, especially Brazil and cashews. Eat in the morning, not post-dinner. Because blood becomes more viscous at night, and eating dense fats like nuts after 6 p.m. can slow circulation during sleep, increasing stroke risk. Practical tip 2: the nut that reduces brain shrinkage. Let's talk walnuts. In a 2021 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors who ate walnuts daily for 2 years had slower brain shrinkage, lower inflammatory markers, and a 13% lower risk of stroke. Why? Walnuts are rich in polyunsaturated fats, PUFAs, and polyphenols, which reduce oxidative stress in blood vessels. More oxygen. Better flow. Sharper brain. But here's the hidden truth. Most seniors eat rancid walnuts. Yes. Rancid. Walnut oils oxidize quickly, especially in warm US homes. So even if you bought organic, even if it's raw and healthy, if it smells sour or tastes bitter, toss it. Rancid nuts are full of lipid peroxides, molecules that damage artery linings. Want fresh walnuts? Always store them in the fridge. Use within 30 days. Or buy in small vacuum-sealed packs. Practical tip 3. Timing matters more than you think. Most seniors snack on nuts between 8 to 10 p.m. while watching TV. But here's the issue. Your arterial flow slows by 20 to 30% at night. Your BP dips, your insulin sensitivity drops, and your digestive system slows down. So if you eat a fat-heavy snack like almonds or cashews post-dinner, it lingers in your bloodstream, increases blood viscosity, and raises clot risk. A study in Stroke Journal, 2022, found that seniors who consumed fatty foods after 7 p.m. had 26% higher incidence of nocturnal blood pressure surges, 41% greater risk of silent strokes, minor brain bleeds you don't notice until memory fades. So what's better? Eat nuts in the morning with fruit or oatmeal. Your digestion and circulation are active, and your body can absorb antioxidants more efficiently. Hidden truth: nuts don't work alone. You've heard, nuts are healthy. But here's what most doctors don't tell you. Nuts are vascular modulators, meaning they help blood flow only when paired with the right minerals. If you're low in magnesium, potassium, vitamin B6, then even healthy nuts won't help much. In fact, without magnesium, the fats in nuts can actually stiffen arteries in older adults. The Framingham Heart Study, ongoing since 1948, found that magnesium deficiency was twice as predictive of stroke than high cholesterol. So what can you do? For every ounce of nuts, add a banana for potassium, spinach or pumpkin seeds for magnesium, or a small serving of lentils for B6. Major daily habit to avoid. Let's call it the nut bowl trap. Leaving a big bowl of mixed nuts on the kitchen counter. Every time you pass it, you grab a few, no big deal, right? Wrong. You're tricking your brain. You may think you're eating 8 to 10 nuts a day. But NIH studies show that mindless nut snacking leads to 3x higher intake than reported. And for seniors, that can mean elevated blood pressure, higher LDL cholesterol, worsening leg cramps due to potassium imbalance, and increased stroke risk, especially with Brazil nuts, cashews, and salted peanuts. Here's the fix. Portion your nuts weekly. Store them in the fridge in zip pouches. Never eat from the jar or bowl. Always pair with fruit or greens. And set a rule: no nuts after 6 p.m. Wrap-up reminder: which nut is the most dangerous? Let's circle back. What's the one most dangerous nut for seniors over 60? Brazil nuts. Not because they're inherently bad, but because they're easy to overeat. Loaded with selenium. And selenium toxicity in seniors can raise blood pressure, clotting risk, and lead to neurodegeneration. Just 2 Brazil nuts a day for 3 weeks can tip you into selenium overdose territory, especially if you take multivitamins or thyroid meds. The solution? Limit Brazil nuts to 1 per day, or avoid altogether. Focus on walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and hazelnuts in controlled portions. Avoid salted, roasted, candied varieties. Store in fridge. Eat in the morning. Pair with magnesium-rich foods. Your brain, your heart, and your future self will thank you. Nut summary: best and worst for brain and stroke risk after 60. Nuts are often praised for their heart and brain benefits, but for seniors over 60, not all nuts are created equal. In fact, some may quietly raise your stroke risk. Brazil nuts, while rich in selenium, can be harmful if overconsumed. Just 2 a day can push selenium levels into toxic territory, increasing blood pressure and clotting risk. Seniors should limit to 1 per day, or skip them entirely if also taking selenium supplements. Cashews are creamy and popular, but they're high in saturated fat. Regular overconsumption may raise LDL cholesterol, subtly stiffening arteries with age. Eat occasionally, not daily. Salted peanuts seem harmless but are packed with sodium. Excess sodium is a major trigger for high blood pressure in seniors, especially when kidney function is reduced. On the protective side, almonds are excellent. Rich in vitamin E and magnesium, they help lower inflammation and maintain arterial flexibility. Walnuts are even more powerful. They're one of the few nuts containing plant-based omega-3s, ALA, which support blood vessel health and reduce brain shrinkage with age. Pistachios offer blood pressure benefits. Studies show just 15 per day can reduce systolic BP by 7 to 8 points in seniors. Hazelnuts are mild but effective. They boost good HDL cholesterol and offer antioxidant support. Finally, candied or honey-roasted nuts are the worst offenders. The sugar-fat combo promotes arterial inflammation, exactly what you don't want after 60. So choose wisely. The right handful of nuts can protect your brain. The wrong ones could do lasting damage.